If this video found you, it's not a coincidence. Something within your energy field called for this message. And the universe responded. There's a silent test that's been happening since the moment your awareness began to expand. A test most people never realize exists, yet it defines who is truly ready to consciously create their reality. This isn't about luck or blind faith. It's about frequency. It's about how you react when life tests you without warning, without manual, and without applause. Have you noticed how sometimes the universe seems to push you to the edge, as if it wants to see whether you'll break or evolve? What few understand is that this isn't punishment, it's calibration. Human consciousness is constantly being evaluated by energy. Every choice, emotion, and thought answers the field's invisible question. Are you ready for the next level? And each time you chose calm over chaos, compassion over reactivity, you answered, yes. This transmission is for those who unknowingly went through a cosmic refinement process. A process that separates the reactive from the conscious, the imitator from the creator. And if you're watching this now, it means you've already crossed that invisible threshold between coincidence and consciousness. Now the question changes. What will you do with this new power? Because from here on, reality begins responding directly to your vibration. But be careful. Passing the test doesn't mean winning. It means understanding. It means realizing that everything that went wrong was simply teaching you how to align with the frequency of creation. This is the point where fear dissolves and the quantum field begins to work with you instead of against you. The universe didn't choose you by chance. It simply recognized the energetic pattern you've been emitting all along. In the next few minutes, you'll understand how this test works, the 5 signs that prove you've already passed it, and what to do to keep your alignment without falling into the traps of ego. This isn't a motivational talk. It's a scientific and spiritual reminder of who you truly are when the noise fades and silence finally speaks. Stay until the end. Because if this message reached you, your next stage of consciousness is about to be activated. There are moments in life that aren't ordinary challenges, but invisible tests of energetic maturity. These are the times when everything seems to fall apart, yet something inside you refuses to collapse. Most people live through these cycles unaware of what's truly happening. But if this video appeared for you, it's for a reason. The quantum field is signaling that your consciousness has passed a silent evaluation, a universal test that watches how you respond when no one is watching. That's how the universe measures who's ready for the next level. This test never comes announced. It hides behind delays, losses, and disappointments. It's as if reality itself orchestrates a sequence of events to press your ego, just to see if your reaction will be fear or expansion. While most people panic, a few remain coherent and they breathe, observe, and don't let emotion take over. That's the exact moment the field records. This one is prepared. The real test was never about external victory. It was always about internal stability. When you finally understand this, you realize life was never trying to punish you. It was calibrating you. Every time you chose the harder path but stayed conscious, you earned points in this universal exam. The quantum intelligence was checking if your energy could remain stable while holding creative power. And if you're here, it means yes. You endured without hardening, you suffered without closing, and you kept believing even with no guarantee of success. Think about it. The universe isn't testing your strength. It's testing the purity of your intention. Strength can be forced, but intention cannot. That's why so many fail, because they react, fight, and try to control. Those who pass do the opposite, they trust. And that trust isn't weakness. It's vibrational maturity. It's the moment when the mind stops screaming and the heart begins to lead. Then something shifts. The field begins to reorganize itself around you. What looked like chaos starts aligning. The right people appear. Opportunities return. And you feel, literally feel, that your frequency has changed. That's the universe's way of saying, approved. It's when reality stops being random and starts mirroring your inner state. You're no longer just existing, you're interacting with the matrix of creation itself. So before we move on to the next sign, remember this. The invisible test was never about luck or destiny, but about consciousness. The silent question behind it all was simple. Can you stay coherent when everything stops making sense? If your answer is yes, congratulations. You've just proven that you belong to the rare group of humans who can create reality responsibly. The first sign is subtle yet unmistakable. The feeling that you no longer fit where you used to. Old conversations lose meaning. Familiar places feel energetically heavy and superficial goals seem irrelevant. That's not disconnection, it's ascension. Your vibrational field has outgrown its old frequency, and the universe starts detaching you from anything misaligned. What feels like loneliness is simply the clearing of space so new realities can anchor into your life. You're not breaking apart, you're breaking through. The second sign is what scientists and mystics both call heightened synchronicity. Numbers repeating, perfect timing, thoughts that manifest within hours. It's not magic, it's quantum physics in motion. When your brain and heart enter coherence, the field begins to echo your internal frequency instantly. Reality behaves like a mirror calibrated to your vibration. The universe stops speaking in chaos and starts communicating in patterns. That's when you realize you've shifted from unconscious reaction to conscious creation. The third sign is natural detachment. Things that once defined you lose their grip. The need for approval, the fear of rejection, the obsession with control. You're no longer trying to let go. It simply happens. Because awareness makes attachment impossible. You see the illusion behind the old stories and realize you don't need to force life to happen. You need only to align with it. That's the moment you stop chasing outcomes and start magnetizing them. The fourth sign is a biological recalibration. Your body begins to feel everything more intensely. Sounds, spaces, even emotions of people nearby. Sometimes there's tingling energy in your spine or exhaustion after social contact. It's not burnout, it's upgrade. Your nervous system is adapting to a higher signal bandwidth, learning to process frequencies it couldn't before. That's why solitude and silence feel like oxygen now. They're not escapes. They're integration time. And the fifth sign is the most powerful of all, emotional coherence. Even in the midst of chaos, a part of you stays calm. It's not numbness, it's trust. You've learned that the universe never makes mistakes in delivery. You don't need external validation to feel safe, because safety has become an internal vibration. That's when manifestation happens naturally, not because you demanded it, but because your energy finally speaks the language of harmony. These 5 signs are not random experiences. They are your vibrational diploma. There's no ceremony, no certificate. Just a deep inner knowing that something permanent has shifted. What comes next is understanding why you were chosen to access this level, and what that responsibility truly means. Most people don't fail because they're weak. They fail because they're still trapped in survival mode. When the universe tests you, it's not judging you. It's observing how you manage pressure. It watches your reaction when things fall apart. Most fight to regain control, desperate for certainty. But control is the illusion that keeps them stuck. Those who pass understand that surrender isn't giving up. It's aligning with intelligence far greater than the mind. Real mastery isn't about forcing outcomes, but flowing with precision. Few pass because coherence during chaos is rare. It's easy to talk about vibration when everything's fine. But when reality collapses, the truth surfaces. The field doesn't measure what you say, it measures what you emit. The ones who keep radiating faith in the storm, who hold light while others panic. Send a frequency the universe recognizes. That's what the test is about. Keeping your signal pure when interference surrounds you. Another reason is spiritual self-deception. Many believe they're awakened because they've read books, meditated, or repeated mantras. But consciousness isn't measured by knowledge. It's measured by behavior. The test comes disguised as everyday situations. Someone who triggers you, a delay that frustrates you, a betrayal that humbles you. How you respond in those moments reveals more about your evolution than years of practice. Awareness without embodiment is just theory. The universal test also measures your relationship with power. What do you do once you realize your thoughts shape reality? Do you use that power to serve or to control? Do you manipulate energy for personal gain or channel it for growth and harmony? The universe grants creative influence only to those who won't misuse it. Many reach the edge of awakening but never cross because they still confuse creation with egoic manipulation. Time is another key factor. This evaluation doesn't happen overnight and it unfolds through cycles. While the mind wants speed, the field demands integration. Patience, therefore, becomes proof of maturity. The delay isn't denial, it's calibration. The universe ensures that you can carry the energy you're asking for without collapsing under its weight. Everything premature becomes destructive. Everything aligned becomes divine timing. So if you've endured the tests and still stand centered, it means you've learned the secret. The universe never wanted perfection, it wanted coherence. Coherence is when mind, heart, and action vibrate as one. That's the frequency that ends the exam and begins conscious manifestation. When you pass the test, something changes quietly within your field. It's not a reward or a sudden event. It's an internal recalibration. Your mind and body synchronize with a higher dimension of order. Coincidences increase, but you now recognize them as communication. The field begins to collaborate with you instead of correcting you. Life stops feeling random and starts behaving like a reflection of your consciousness. What you once called luck now feels like precision. You'll notice that everything flows with less resistance. The right people show up, opportunities align, and doors that once resisted open effortlessly. Yet there's a hidden rule. The flow continues only while you remain coherent. The universe doesn't reward ego, it responds to vibration. The moment you slip back into fear, the field adjusts immediately, not as punishment but as feedback. It's the universe teaching you how to stay awake within creation itself. Another shift is expanded perception. You start sensing the energy behind things. You walk into a room and instantly feel if it's light or dense. You meet someone and intuitively know their resonance. This isn't fantasy. It's quantum sensitivity. Your consciousness begins to read data directly from the field. The static of thought quiets down, and intuition becomes signal clarity. You move from reacting to reality to reading it. But with new awareness comes new responsibility. Because as your vibration rises, your influence expands. Every thought becomes architecture. Every emotion, a broadcast. Those who pass understand that manifestation isn't about power, it's about precision. The universe entrusts creative energy only to those who use it with intention, not impulse. That's why awakening isn't about getting more. It's about carrying more light responsibly. You'll also start to perceive synchronicity as language. Every delay, meeting, or detour becomes a coded message. Reality begins conversing with you in real time. This dialogue between your vibration and universal intelligence is the most direct proof of your evolution. What used to appear as coincidence now feels like orchestration, a quantum dance between your intention and the intelligence of creation itself. And finally, peace emerges. Not the peace of quiet circumstances, but the peace of understanding. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start sensing, "What is this teaching me?" That's when the soul takes command and the mind finally rests. The test is over. What begins now is the experiment of living consciously, co-creating reality in partnership with the universe. Passing the universal test isn't the end. It's the beginning of a more delicate phase, maintaining alignment. Because the moment you access a higher state of awareness, the universe doesn't stop testing you. It simply changes the questions. Now the lesson is about consistency. Can you remain centered while expanding? Can you stay grounded while your perception widens? Awakening isn't a destination. It's maintenance. The few who master it don't fight energy. They refine it. The key to staying aligned is conscious attention. The old mind will try to pull you back through fear, urgency, or the need to control outcomes. But none of that functions in higher frequencies. When anxiety rises, breathe and observe. When ego wants validation, pause and feel. When doubt whispers, remember how you got here, not by fighting, but by trusting. That same trust is the bridge between your consciousness and universal intelligence. Another essential aspect is energetic hygiene. Just as the body needs daily cleansing, so does your vibration. Be selective with what you consume. Information, people, environments. Every stimulus programs your field, and the field doesn't interpret, it executes. Those who pass the test understand. Protection doesn't come from rituals. It comes from resonance. When your frequency is clear, nothing of lower vibration can stay. And don't forget your purpose. The universe didn't awaken you so you could rise above others, but so you could serve them through awareness. Conscious power isn't domination. It's contribution. When you use your energy to elevate, to inspire, to create coherence, the field amplifies your reach. But when you try to manipulate or control, it shuts down. Reality protects itself through alignment. The only authority you're meant to have is over your own frequency. Here's the deeper truth. Alignment isn't about feeling good all the time. It's about feeling everything without losing center. Sadness, anger, and fear don't disappear, but they lose control over you. You start to witness emotions instead of becoming them. That neutral awareness keeps your vibration stable. You're no longer the actor in the story. You're the observer of the human experience itself. That's why the greatest power of those who've passed the test is serenity. Not because life became easy, but because consciousness expanded. And when awareness expands, suffering loses depth. You see that everything, even chaos, is just energy seeking order. The universe, once your examiner, now becomes your collaborator. The game of fear ends here. What begins is the science of conscious creation. Nothing that has ever happened to you was random. Every delay, heartbreak, and collapse was part of the same universal assessment you've now understood. The universe wasn't punishing you. It was preparing you. Preparing you to hold a frequency that few can sustain without losing balance. And if this message found you, the field already knows. You're one of the few who made it. The game of survival is over. What begins now is the science of consciousness. From this point on, your thoughts, emotions, and words manifest faster than ever. That's why the universe trusts those who've passed. Because they've learned to think clearly, feel compassionately, and act with purpose. This is the trinity of conscious creation. The world doesn't need more people talking about energy. It needs individuals embodying coherence. When your life becomes the message, reality starts listening in real time. But remember, the test never truly ends. It simply evolves. Each new level of awareness brings subtler challenges, not to punish, but to expand your capacity for light. So don't fear the pauses, the silence, or the moments of confusion. They aren't regressions, they're recalibrations. The goal was never perfection, it was integration. Real mastery is staying lucid in the middle of uncertainty, observing without reacting, feeling without drowning, creating without controlling. If something awakened within you as you heard these words, That's the signal in a new level of consciousness activating right now. From here, watch how reality begins to synchronize with you. Old patterns will fade, new frequencies will appear, and time itself will seem to bend around your clarity. That's the quiet confirmation that you've passed the test. Now the choice is yours. Will you just watch your evolution, or will you embody it? If this message resonates, write in the comments, "I recognize my awakening." That phrase isn't symbolic. It's an energetic declaration. It anchors your new state into the quantum field, signaling your readiness to sustain coherence. And never forget, when you change your frequency, the universe changes its language. From this moment on, nothing will be coincidence. You did the impossible. You woke up in a world that's still asleep. And now everything you touch with consciousness becomes light.